In the still of night, a soft, eerie whisper beckons you closer. Deep beneath the old house, secrets wait in the darkness. Listen carefully as a mysterious voice reveals haunting confessions that stir fear in even the bravest hearts. Welcome. In a quiet town, there was a small old house. The house stood on a quiet street. Its wooden walls were worn and its roof was steep. The house was full of history and secrets. The people who lived there had many stories to tell. One of these stories was about a strange voice that came from the basement. In this house lived a young boy named Sam. Sam was 10 years old. He had bright eyes and a kind heart. He loved to read books and explore small corners of his home. He was curious about many things. The old house always seemed to whisper secrets to him. Sometimes, when the wind blew, Sam would hear soft sounds from the walls. But one day, he heard something that made his heart beat faster. Late one night, when the house was dark and quiet, Sam heard a sound coming from the basement. It was a soft voice. The voice was not loud. It was gentle but strange. It spoke in simple words. The voice said things that no one had heard before. It spoke of old times and hidden secrets. Sam felt a chill run down his spine. He did not know if he should be scared or curious. Sam lived with his family, but they did not believe in old tales. His parents did not believe that voices could come from the basement. They thought it was only the wind. But Sam knew that the voice was real. He had heard it clearly. The voice had a sad tone and a deep secret in its words. Every time it spoke, Sam felt a mix of fear and pity. He wondered who could be speaking from such a dark place. The basement was a place that no one visited often. It was dark and full of old things. Sam remembered seeing boxes and old furniture there, but he had never gone down to look closely. Now the sound of the voice made him want to know more. He wished he could speak to the voice and ask its name. Yet, he was too frightened to move. Every night, the voice came softly from the basement. Sometimes, it repeated words that sounded like a confession. The words were clear, but their meaning was hidden in mystery. Sam could not understand all that the voice said, but he knew that the voice had a heavy heart. The voice seemed to be telling a story of sorrow and regret. At school, Sam talked about his experience with a friend named Lily. Lily was kind and brave. She listened to Sam with a serious face. Lily told Sam that sometimes voices in old houses were not meant to harm. They were a way for the past to speak to the present. Lily suggested that Sam write down what he heard. This idea made Sam feel a little better, for he thought that maybe he could understand the story. In the dark silence of the night, the voice would come again. Sam lay in his bed and listened carefully. The voice would say words that made him think of long-lost days and old mistakes. He felt that the voice was trying to confess a terrible truth that was hidden in the shadows of the basement. The night was long and full of unanswered questions. Sam felt that the old house was alive with memories. The voice from the basement had started a mystery that would change his life forever. As the clock ticked softly, the secrets of the house grew deeper. And so the strange voice began to tell its story, one frightening confession at a time. After that first night, Sam could not sleep well. He thought about the voice many times as he lay in his bed. The soft sound of the voice kept echoing in his mind. Sam decided that he needed to learn more about the strange voice. He felt that the voice was trying to tell him something important. The next day, Sam returned to his school with a heavy heart. He sat quietly in his class, but his thoughts were with the voice. When the teacher asked a question, Sam could not answer because his mind was far away. He thought about what the voice might mean when it said words like confession and secrets. These words made him wonder if the voice was telling a sad truth from long ago. At lunch, Sam spoke with his friend Lily again. Lily listened carefully as Sam described the voice in detail. He told her that the voice seemed to be full of sorrow. Lily encouraged him to write down every word he heard. She said that writing might help him understand the message. That evening, he found a notebook and a pencil. He sat in his small room and began to write down the words he remembered. As the night grew darker, Sam waited for the voice to return. He was both scared and curious. Soon, he heard it again. The voice said, "I have a secret that I must share." These words made Sam's heart pound. He listened carefully as the voice continued. I once made a mistake that changed everything. I hid in the shadows, afraid of the truth. Sam felt a strong desire to understand the secret. He thought of the old diary that he had seen in the attic many times. The diary belonged to someone who had lived in the house a long time ago. Sam wondered if the diary might hold clues to the voice's confession. The idea made him feel brave. He decided that he would search for the diary the next day. In the morning, Sam looked around the attic with great care. He moved old boxes and dusty books aside. In a dark corner, he found a leather-bound diary. The cover was cracked and the pages were yellow with age. Sam took the diary to a small table and opened it. He began to read the pages with wide eyes. The words in the diary were written in a neat hand. The diary told the story of a man named Thomas, who had lived in the house many years ago. Thomas had a troubled life and made many mistakes. The diary revealed that Thomas was sad and full of regret. It said that he had done something terrible and could not forgive himself. Sam felt that the diary was a key to the mystery of the voice. He believed that the voice might be connected to Thomas's sorrow. The words were simple and clear, like a confession from the past. Sam read every word slowly and with great care. He felt a deep connection to Thomas's feelings. The story in the diary made the voice sound more real. Sam's heart ached as he learned of the sorrow and the mistakes from long ago. He understood that the voice was not there to scare him, but to share a sad truth. The confession in the diary gave the voice a clear purpose. It was a reminder of a life filled with pain and regret. In the quiet of the night, Sam closed the diary and looked at the dark basement door. He felt both fear and hope in his heart. He knew that if he could learn all of Thomas's secrets, the voice might finally rest in peace. Sam spent many days reading the diary. Every page brought him closer to the truth of Thomas's troubled past. The diary told of happy times that turned dark, of mistakes that haunted Thomas forever. Sam learned that Thomas had been a kind man who made a grave error. The error was one that hurt many people, and Thomas carried the burden of guilt with him every day. In the diary, Thomas wrote about his love for a family and his deep sorrow when his mistake caused them pain. He wrote that he had once promised to protect them, but his actions led to disaster. Thomas's words were filled with regret. They showed a man who wished to undo his wrongs, but was trapped by the choices he had made. The voice that Sam heard in the basement seemed to echo Thomas's deep remorse. It was as if the spirit of Thomas wanted someone to know his sorrow and to understand the heavy cost of his error. Sam felt a mix of pity and fear as he read these pages. He wondered if Thomas's spirit was still bound to the house because of his guilt. The diary mentioned that Thomas had hidden a secret in the basement, a secret that he feared would reveal the full extent of his mistake. This secret was not just a simple confession, but a truth that might bring harm to those who learned it. Thomas wrote that he had locked away something precious, something that could not be undone. One passage in the diary caught Sam's attention. It said, "The voice from the depths carries my confession, a burden too heavy for my soul." These words made Sam shiver. He imagined Thomas alone in the dark, whispering his regret to anyone who would listen. The diary did not explain what the secret was, but it hinted that the voice was desperate to unburden itself. That night, Sam sat in his room, thinking about the diary and the voice. He wondered if he should speak to the voice directly. His heart raced, with a mix of fear and a strong desire to help. Sam decided that he would try to understand the voice better by listening very carefully. He made a plan to return to the basement, hoping that he could learn more about Thomas's secret confession. Sam believed that the voice was not evil, but a sad remnant of a past mistake. With the diary in his hand, Sam went once more to the basement door. The door was old and creaked when he touched it. His pulse quickened as he opened the door and stepped down the stairs. Each step felt heavy with dread and determination. When he reached the bottom, the darkness seemed to welcome him, as if it knew his purpose. In that silent space, Sam listened intently for the voice. Soon, the voice began to speak again. It said, "I am bound by regret and sorrow. I cannot move on." The voice was soft, yet its words were clear. Sam heard the confession, "I have betrayed the trust of those I loved, and my heart is heavy with remorse." Each word touched Sam deeply, and he knew that the secret was a call for forgiveness. The basement was filled with the sorrow of a man who could not let go of his past. Sam closed the diary and sat quietly for a long time. The secret of Thomas was heavy and sad, and it seemed to fill the air around him. Sam felt that his life had changed because of this discovery. He promised himself that he would continue to seek the truth until the mystery was solved. After gathering the diary and his notes, Sam felt it was time to face the basement once more. With a trembling heart, he decided to venture deeper into the dark space. He believed that understanding Thomas's secret would free the troubled spirit from its pain. Sam took a deep breath and stepped further into the room, determined to listen and learn. In the cold, quiet basement, Sam could sense a presence. The voice returned, softer than before, but filled with a deep sorrow. It began to speak in a low tone, saying, "I remember the day when my mistake was made." The voice continued, "I lost everything because of my fear." Each word was simple, yet it carried a weight that made Sam's heart ache. The voice confessed, "I hurt those who cared for me, and I have carried that burden ever since." Sam felt a tear well in his eye as he listened to the heartfelt confession. The voice went on, describing the events of a long time ago. It spoke of a night filled with regret and confusion. The voice recalled a promise that was broken, a promise that had cost Thomas dearly. Sam listened in silence, understanding that the secret was more than a single act. It was a series of choices that led to deep sorrow. The confession was a painful reminder of the past, and Sam felt the gravity of the words in every sentence. As the confession unfolded, the voice revealed details that were both shocking and sad. It admitted that trust had been betrayed by someone close. The voice said, "I trusted a friend who turned away in my time of need." This confession made Sam wonder about the nature of friendship and betrayal. He felt that the voice was not only confessing a mistake, but also warning others about the pain of broken promises. The words were clear and simple, yet their meaning was hard to bear. Sam gathered his courage and spoke softly into the darkness. He said, "I hear your confession. I know you are in pain, and I want to help you." The voice paused for a moment, as if it were surprised by Sam's kindness. Then it replied, "I am afraid that my secret will never let me go." The basement felt heavy with the sorrow of the confession, and Sam realized that the spirit of Thomas was trapped by its own regret. Determined to ease the burden, Sam asked, "What can I do to help you find peace?" The voice answered in a quiet tone, "The secret must be set free, and forgiveness must be given." Sam understood that the confession was a call for redemption. He felt a strong need to act, to help release the voice from endless sorrow. With his heart full of empathy, Sam promised to seek out the truth and mend the broken past. The room grew silent for a while, as if the basement itself was listening. In that silence, Sam felt both fear and hope. He knew that the journey to uncover the entire truth would be long and hard, but he was ready to face it. The voice had given him a glimpse of the past, and now it was up to Sam to follow the clues left in the diary and the confession spoken in the darkness. Sam left the basement that night with a heavy heart and a determined spirit. He felt that each confession was a piece of a puzzle he must solve. The memory of the voice's sorrow would guide him, and he vowed to search every corner of the house until the truth was revealed. At that moment, hope mixed with fear in Sam's mind, urging him to continue searching. Over the next few days, Sam worked hard to uncover every detail of Thomas's past. He reviewed the diary many times and compared its words with the clues he had gathered. Sam asked questions around the town, speaking to old neighbors and searching for any record of Thomas. He learned that Thomas had been a respected member of the community before his mistake. The people remembered him as kind and generous, but also as a man who had suffered deeply after his error. Sam visited the local library and found old newspapers that mentioned Thomas. The articles spoke of a tragic event that had rocked the town many years ago. They described a day when a terrible accident had occurred, one that was linked to a decision made in fear. The reports were simple and clear, written in plain language that even a young person could understand. Sam realized that the secret in the basement was part of a larger story, one that involved not just Thomas, but the entire community. As Sam pieced together the story, he felt a growing responsibility. He believed that by revealing the truth, he could help free Thomas's spirit from its endless sorrow. Sam decided that the next step was to hold a small gathering at the house. He invited some of the neighbors who remembered Thomas and shared with them what he had learned from the diary and the old records. In a quiet meeting, Sam spoke in a calm and respectful tone. He told them about the voice in the basement and about the deep confession that Thomas had left behind. The neighbors listened with wide eyes and heavy hearts. They recalled their own memories of Thomas, the kind man who had once been a pillar of the community. Many of them had long suspected that there was more to the old house than met the eye. Sam's words brought back memories of joy and sorrow, and for a moment, the weight of the past seemed lighter. The gathering agreed that Thomas deserved to be remembered for his kindness, not just his mistakes. That night, Sam returned to the basement with a renewed sense of purpose. Holding the diary close, he spoke softly into the darkness. "Thomas, I have gathered the truth. Your secret is now known, and your pain can end." In the silence that followed, Sam felt a change in the air. The heavy sorrow that had filled the basement began to lift, and a gentle calm replaced the long-held fear. In the days that followed, the old house seemed to breathe easier. The voice from the basement was never heard again, and a peaceful calm settled over the home. Sam continued to visit, always carrying the memory of Thomas and the lessons he had learned. The truth had been uncovered, and with it came forgiveness, healing, and a new beginning for all who remembered. Sam's journey taught him that even the deepest secrets can be revealed with courage and compassion. He learned that forgiveness is a gift that can free a troubled soul. The frightening confessions from the basement became a story of hope and renewal, a lesson that the past, no matter how dark, can be brought into the light. In the end, the story of Thomas and his basement confession became a treasured tale in the town. It reminded everyone that even in darkness, truth can shine brightly. Sam's brave actions not only brought peace to a restless spirit, but also united a community in understanding and forgiveness, leaving a legacy of hope for future generations. The tale spread slowly, touching hearts and inspiring many to seek light in their own lives. It was a remarkable story of redemption that everyone cherished. In the stillness of the night, the silence speaks of forgotten truths. The story lingers like a shadow, urging you to remember that every secret has its own haunting echo. Farewell, until the next mystery unfolds. Goodbye, and keep watching.